So good for you all to be here. Thank you very much. So my name is Tim, and I work for Q42. So Q42 is a software agency, and we're about 80 engineers working from The Hague and Amsterdam, and working mainly on commercial software projects that you probably have seen earlier. Like, for instance, we work for Mazda, we work for Adidas, and some cool stuff that you've come across, maybe like the things for Rijksmuseum. Beleef de Nachtwacht is something that you've probably seen. So great, really cool projects. And within Q42, I'm running my own department. And this department is called Hack the Planet. And with Hack the Planet, I'm working on ideas and concepts for, and I hate this word, NGOs. So people and parties that are working to make the world a little bit better. So this whole idea of getting tech to these parties came like 3 or 4 years ago, when I simply called Greenpeace and I asked them, so are there any challenges that you guys have that we can help you out with? And that was the start of something really bizarre, because what I found is that many, like these organizations, like Greenpeace, War Child, Oxfam, Red Cross, they are all facing a lot of different challenges, and they all have one thing in common, is that they could use a little bit of help. And I have some examples that I'm going to give you, and of course, you're here for the keynote on virtual reality and empathy, so we're getting into that in several minutes. But I want to address one of the projects that we're working on right now, which I think is a great example of how we can use technology in a certain global challenge, so to say. So what you see right here, obviously, is a rhino. And the reason why this picture is in my presentation is because this project that we're doing is in Zambia. And Zambia once had the biggest rhino population of the world, and now there are none left. But poaching is still a big problem. So we talked with many organizations and many people to figure, so what is this poaching problem actually about? And is there something that we as engineers, technicians, creatives, can do something about it? Now, I don't want to dive too much into this, but I want to ask you one question. What do you think is the one thing that poachers do have with them once they get caught in a national park? So what do you think they carry along with them? Can I ask you one thing? A cell phone and? A rifle. Okay, that's enough. A cell phone. The first one, that's correct, a cell phone. Now, how many parties, how many people do you think are working on a concept that does something with cell phones? So I didn't come across any of them. So what we're now building with my team is we're building a sensor that does exactly this, detecting cell phones of the poachers. Because what we know is that they are in the field out there for several days, carrying their phones to call their mates and have some entertainment. Now, this is just one example. The other project that we're doing, where I'm really enthusiastic about, is a project that is based on virtual reality, also one of the earlier projects that we did. And what you see on the photo are two elderly ladies that are having a virtual reality experience. In this picture, they are at the beach, just enjoying the beach, the sun, their feet are in the water, just that. And this is still an old version. You see the Gear VRs there, so it's early stage, right? We're talking about a couple of years ago. But the reason why I like this project so much is because for me this was the first time that I saw that technology could really have a positive impact on people. It could really change their lives. And this is a really good example because it really did change their lives. So this photo was taken in a elderly care center where these people would come and talk to each other. But as you probably know, for elderly people, it's becoming more and more difficult once they age to just go out, go on a holiday, go to the beach. So what we built was this combined experience where they have the same experience with some of their friends and can be able to talk to each other. Now the next thing, and this is by far the most craziest thing I have ever done in my life. We're talking about Meet the Soldier. So here you see a photo of Ariko. And Ariko is one of the tribe leaders in northern Uganda. So, Meet the Soldier. What is Meet the Soldier? And maybe you have seen it already because it was traveling through some movie festivals at Movies That Matter. We won the Golden Calf, Gouden Calf, nomination, so to say. And so it's now traveling across all sorts of movie festivals. But Meet the Soldier is about two rivaling parties that we brought together. In this case, we brought together two tribe leaders that were normally in conflict with each other for years. Now, why on earth would you do that? Now, the reason for this is also elders. The photo that you just saw from the ladies. I figured if we can have such a gigantic impact with virtual reality, what else is possible? And in my head, there was still, from when I was a little boy, there was this fascination about war and people in conflict. I was like, why is this possible? Why are people battling each other? And why are they able to just actually shoot each other? How does that work? And then a couple of years ago, I came across this picture. And for people who don't know this picture, this is from the Christmas truce in 1914. So the big generals there during World War I decided during Christmas, let's just have a small break, okay? Let's just go out of their trenches and, figure it out. So people did. They just went out of their trenches and they just, went eating together, feasting together, footballing a bit. And that really struck me. I was like, okay, so what is this framework that is getting people to have this fight, have this war? So what is it that drives them? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not naive about this. I know that, it's not about people only, but the fascination was that in the end, it's about people. In the end, it is about this guy and that guy or women who are shooting at each other. And I was like, how can we change this? Can we break these barriers? Can we use something similar that we did with virtual reality? But then on this topic, is that possible? Well, the funny part is that there's a lot of research being done into the field of virtual reality. So there was this one study, actually two, in 2015 at Nice and Montreal, where they had this study on elderly people. And what these two studies found is that elderly people were not only very receptive for virtual reality, it would also spark their memories they had from the past. Now, another study from 2017 was done by Stanford. It was a project, and you can look it up. It's called Becoming Homeless. And what this study found is that people who were in a virtual reality environment were far more likely to sign petitions or donate or help out in any way on the homeless on the homeless topic. So, and these are just 3 studies. I also talked with the University of Leiden, who was doing a study on virtual reality empathy. And as you've probably seen, the Ministry of Defense is treating their soldiers who are coming off the battlefield who have possibly traumas. They're healing them with the use of virtual reality. So these studies, combined with the picture of the World War I, I was like, would it be possible to create a virtual reality environment where we bring 2 of these rivaling soldiers together without them knowing that they are rivaling soldiers, but they're just talking about their families, their lives, everything except the conflict. What would happen if we do that? So we did. We just went out there and we shot a documentary in northern Uganda. We found several partners that could help us out. And the result is a 20-minute virtual reality documentary, which is now being ported to Oculus Go, and it's online. So I want to already invite you after this this keynote to drop me an email, or any way you can contact me later. I can get you a voucher code. You can watch it online. You can watch it in your virtual reality goggles. There are many ways that you can get your hands on it. So this is a trailer video, so this is just 1 minute or so, but it will give you an impression of what the documentary is about.
Eternity yung agriamun kang kuni mo lugwa. Atenet. Icham do agriamun kang itepezing lo alam yata. Jamet.
Araka kro lumurumai.
So Lomoromoy and Ariko, both tribe leaders, and you can imagine that what I just said was the most wicked thing I've ever did. You can imagine I was sitting there in the same studio and these guys were talking about their lives, which were so different than from anything that I've ever witnessed before. And yeah, you saw some pictures there of what we did. So we went out there and we went to this first tribe that was of Ariko. And you see the 360 camera, the Insta360, and you know what they did. They were talking about their lives. They were talking about where they live, and they were talking about the things they like and the things they don't like. Just the way we would tell to a camera or to a producer about our lives. They were just doing the same thing, but in a totally different way. So you see here a shot of a photo where we are hiding next to a small cabin, because at the 360 camera it sees everything, right? So you don't want the whole production team in front of the camera, so you have to hide for every shot. That was quite dynamic as well, the entire thing. So the whole trip there to where we were, we had to fly from Amsterdam to Entebbe, then go 1 hour drive to Kampala, and then 15-hour a drive to the north, and then 4 or 5 hours drive in a forward drive to get to the point where we could interview the tribe leaders. You can imagine a place where you normally would not easily go. But then you get these amazing shots. These are the 2 friendly guards we had, because the area where we filmed is only since a couple of years that you are able, as a Western guy or girl, to go to without being shot. So that was fun. And here you have Ariko and his dad. So obviously this is one of the main characters. And here this was a shot where he was explaining about how he's living and about his family. And yeah, so we also set up an outdoor studio, which was quite fun as well. So you see the green screen. So we had 3 studios basically for the whole documentary. 2 inside and 1 outside. And the one outside was the most challenging, because there is almost no way you can get power in the middle of nowhere basically. So yeah, and we had some fun, as you can see. So why do we do it? I mean, first of all, this project was something that itched me for years, obviously, right? So I just wanted to see what happened. And without spoiling the entire Meet the Soldier documentary for you, I can already tell you that what you're going to see in the documentary I think will strike you as well as it struck me. because it's quite bizarre to see what happens if people, for their feeling, are actually meeting someone that they truly, truly, truly hate. That is really bizarre to see. And then this process of what happens once they learn their story is truly bizarre. So again, I'm not spoiling it. I am inviting you to watch it, because if I'm just would tell you the whole plot right now, that would not be funny. So please drop a line or email me. I can give you the code, and then you can see it for yourself. So what I want to conclude with is what I learned, and this is funny because the other, I have to see, yeah, very good, 5 minutes. This is easy. So the last talk you had, and it was a really inspiring talk of the former keynote you just saw, and it connects a little bit to what I'm going to tell you right now. What I learned is what you just heard before as well, is there aren't many things that you can't do. What I learned is that what normally would be a habit of mine, and I know for many people as well, is if you see a problem, if you see a challenge, if you see anything wrong, what you normally would have is like, well, that seems quite important. There must be someone working on this, right? Right, let's continue our lives. The thing is, they're not. There's not someone working on this thing most of the time. And you can make a change with some quite pragmatic things already. And the reason why I'm having this keynote here in front of you is because what I think is that what the world needs are smart techies, smart people that have creative ideas, and smart people that can build stuff, right? If you look at the anti-poaching sensor, it's like 100% technology, right? It's combining things from other areas, software, and now in a couple of months we will have a sensor that will make it very, very, very difficult for poachers to be in an area, to be there without being caught. Now, and the reason why this photo is in here is because, and this is really, I admit it straight away, this is the most cheesy picture I could find. It's about the Apollo 13 mission, and you've probably seen the movie already. It's in the movie, there is this one scene, and it's real, about a capsule where the crew was in and the oxygen filters were damaged. And in the movie, there's this whole scene where they would, okay, well, the tank, it's damaged, we have to fix it. And they start working on it with a small team to try to fix the broken filter. And there was a time issue because otherwise the crew will die. And eventually they fixed it by just, having this pressure. And what I find for myself is if I see a challenge, I try to think of this scene. I was like, okay, what if it's up to me right now? What if I have to fix this challenge, this particular challenge, right here, right now? What would I do? Now, I want to leave you with this one, and of course, this the most epic quote ever, because I think it's true. So I want to thank you for being here today, and I hope you guys and girls will drop me your contact details later on. The Twitter handles are below, but you can also look at hacktheplanet.io or .nl. Both work. Just write me an email, and I can send you a voucher code for Meet the Soldier. And I would really love that, because I'm really, really curious about what you think on the end and on the entire documentary itself. Again, thank you very much for being here.